Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be breaking down a truly fascinating and, honestly, pretty hilarious sequence of events. Today, we are looking at the food multiplier fiasco of Furfuri Nagar. It's basically a brilliant case study of what happens when rapid technological advancement meets, well, unchecked human appetite. We'll map out exactly how a tiny, well-intentioned invention completely spiraled into a gigantic, town-threatening problem.
So what happens when a simple craving for samosas turns into a citywide catastrophe? The scene starts off super simply, in the local market. Motu and Patlu are just taking a walk, right? And Motu, who is famously known for his insatiable appetite, declares that he's incredibly hungry. Actually, he makes a very specific wish. He wants a literal mountain of samosas. Innocent enough desire, right? Patlu just kind of dismisses it, pointing out that food is all Motu ever thinks about. But, as we'll see, this one simple craving is the exact catalyst for all the chaos that's about to unfold.
Part 1. The Food Multiplier 3000.
Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer scale of the technology Dr. Jhatka introduces. He shows up with this strange new machine that has a very specific and, honestly, highly dangerous capability. It's called the Food Multiplier 3000, and it's engineered to increase the mass of any given food item by a staggering amount. Just to prove his point to Motu and Patlu, Dr. Jhatka decides to run a quick test, so he places a small, completely ordinary ice cream right into the machine.
And this perfectly illustrates the immediate danger. The number 100. The machine doesn't just double the food size, it makes it 100 times bigger. There's a beep, a loud boom, and suddenly a giant ice cream materializes out of thin air. Naturally, Motu is absolutely amazed. I mean, his dream of giant food is literally coming true right in front of him, and he instantly rushes in to eat it. But right as he does, the machine's warning systems start going off. Beep, beep, beep. The experiment has just officially breached containment.
Which brings us to Section 2, Chaos in Furfuri Nagar.
Let's track how this escalates, because the malfunction follows a really clear timeline. It starts with just that single giant ice cream. But because Patlu can't get the machine to stop, even though he's frantically mashing all the buttons, the multiplier effect just goes totally rogue. Next thing you know, giant burgers and massive pizzas start appearing out of nowhere. Then we hit peak irony. Motu, the guy who just wished for a mountain of samosas, is now actively being chased down the street by a giant rolling samosa. He's literally running away from his own craving, screaming for help. And finally, the overflowing machine pushes way past its limits to create something nobody saw coming. The ice cream robot.
At this point, the structural integrity of Furfuri Nagar is completely compromised. You've got giant foods blocking the main roads, citizens running around in a state of total panic. It's a mess. The situation gets so bad that it actually summons the local authority, Chingam. He shows up with his iconic catchphrase, "Ayahun, kuch to gadbad hai." Basically, he's acknowledging that he's arrived, and yeah, there is clearly something very wrong going on. And he is absolutely right to be worried, because the problem just leveled up.
Section 3, the ice cream robot.
So, from the depths of this broken machine, a massive, sentient entity is born. The ice cream robot steps right out into the chaotic streets and issues its terrifyingly sweet decree: ice cream for everyone, forever. Now, sure, that sounds like a total dream for a kid on a summer day, but in this context, it's the ultimate threat. You have this rogue, towering robot threatening to bury the entire town in an eternal, inescapable wave of frozen dairy. Furfuri Nagar is literally on the brink of total collapse.
Section 4. A delicious solution. So here is the crucial turning point, thanks to Patlu. In the heat of the moment, he doesn't panic. Instead, he analyzes the threat and deduces the robot's critical weakness. It's powered entirely by ambient food energy. The robot is literally sustaining itself on all that chaotic, giant food multiplying around it. This is a total game changer. Patlu realizes that to defeat this massive machine, they don't need heavy weapons or anything. They just need to cut off its fuel supply. I absolutely love how this plays out. It's like a highly coordinated military operation. Let's break down Patlu's 4-step strategy. Step 1, identify the power source, which he just nailed. Step 2, intercept the giant samosas before they can actually reach the robot and charge it up. Step 3, deploy their absolute best asset to eliminate that fuel. That asset, of course, is Motu, whose job is to eat literally everything in sight. And Step 4, once the robot is drained of power, hit the emergency switch on the main machine. It's a flawless plan that relies entirely on the unique, very specific skills of his team.
When Patlu gives the order for Motu to eat the giant samosas before they reach the robot, Motu doesn't even hesitate. He just smiles and declares, "This is my favorite mission." It's such a great moment of synergy. Motu's defining character trait, his absolute obsession with food, which, let's be honest, kind of started this whole mess, is instantly transformed into the exact superpower they need to save the town. He happily takes his orders and just starts intercepting and devouring these giant samosas one after another.
And the execution of the plan is spot on. As Motu rapidly consumes the fuel source, you can actually see the giant ice cream robots start losing power. It slows right down, completely neutralized by sheer gluttony. With the robot out of commission, a tiny window of opportunity opens up. Dr. Jhatka rushes in and finally manages to smash that emergency switch on the food multiplier 3000. There's a massive boom, and just like that, the multiplying stops entirely. The giant food vanishes, and Furfuri Nagar instantly snaps back to its peaceful, normal state.
In the aftermath, the whole town celebrates. Chingam proudly declares the case closed. Dr. Jhatka, who hopefully learned a valuable lesson about unchecked scientific experiments, promises to test his inventions a bit more carefully next time. But the real takeaway, the ultimate lesson of this explainer, actually comes from Patlu. He turns to Motu and delivers a very clear, very funny warning. Don't eat every experiment you see. It gets a huge laugh, but honestly, it perfectly sums up the need for a little caution alongside all that curiosity.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. If you had a food multiplier 3000, what would be your giant snack of choice? And could you actually eat it before it destroyed your entire town? It's a pretty fun hypothetical, but it's exactly the kind of chaotic scenario that makes the adventures in Furfuri Nagar so incredibly entertaining. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning.